Alright Chicos, hope you guys are having a great day. My name's Spider, and in this video we're going to be breaking down NBBL week number 6 going up against Arika and the Singapore Screamers. Really cool logo, by the way. Maybe Arika's very, I guess, comfortable using Registeel, and the Terra Captains are going to be Noivern with Terra Dragon, Normal, and Steel, Vikavolt with Electric, Dragon, and Steel, and Illumise with Bug, Water, and Steel. A lot of steel types there. I really expect Azumarill 100%. I do expect Registeel, even though, I have some things for it. I definitely think it comes because Ursaluna is not great against the rest of his team. Speaking of Rillaboom, being able to weaken Earthquakes for Chi-Yu, Glamora, aforementioned, Registeel, as well as Sneasler, could be really helpful. Also, if he Terra Steals the Noivern. Grey Tusk is the best Rabbit Spinner in the game, so hazards are going to be difficult to set up on this team. And it's just very powerful on its own. Glamora is really good. It presents some challenges because of what my game plan was coming into this. And of course, Sneasler with the grassy terrain makes this a very formidable team. The Singapore Screamers are on a tear recently. They lost their first game, and then they've won the last 4. So they're 4-1, I think with the same differential as we are, which is kind of crazy because we've won all 5 of our games. Before we get into the team, I'd just like to announce a few transactions we made. So first I dropped Arcaludon and picked up Skarmory. And then I also dropped Granbull and Crabominable to pick up Dashbon and Girder. That's kind of how I saw it. So for one, Arcaludon was 14 points. I didn't really feel like I was justifying its 14-point tier. I just felt like I needed more, hazards. I didn't have any spike users. And I'm really comfortable with Skarmory. I'm very, comfortable with what it does. It's very good at what it does. And I figured I wanted that Spike's presence as well as something that could heal itself. I dropped Granbull and got Dashbun because I did want some wish passing capabilities with that. And again, I'm just more comfortable with Dashbun. I think, it's a little bit better. Granbull is 5 points and Dashbun's only 4, so I felt like that's great value for that Pokemon. It's got a great speed tier at 95 as well, so we can outspeed things that we really shouldn't be. And then lastly, I did drop Crabominable and grabbed Girder. There were a lot of things that I wanted in the 5-point tier that I figured would be good, but I decided on Girder because it gets Defog, which is phenomenal. I don't want to be relying on Blastoise for Rapid Spinning because, if I want to run a Shell Smash set, I'm probably not going to be running Rapid Spin because I need 3 coverage moves usually. So because Crabominable was a Terra Captain, we obviously could pick up another one as long as we had enough points. I had 4 points to use on a Terra Captain and Dashbun is 4, but Dashbun is now Terra Fairy, Steel, and Water. I just figured this is the best defensive typings, also with its well-baked body. Giving it a fire immunity, Terra Steel could definitely be hard to kind of break through. I know this may look like counter-teaming because my opponent does have a Chi-Yu, and to an extent, you could say that, but all 3 of these Pokemon have a very specific purpose that wasn't getting fulfilled by my original team. Although I'm 5-0, I'm always looking to improve my team. Like, it's far from perfect, and the wins we've had haven't always been convincing. I want to get more convincing wins. I want to kind of have more of a defensive backbone, and that's kind of what these transactions are for. So with all of that out of the way, the screen's probably been dark for a while. Let's get right into the team that I'm bringing against Arika. So of course, starting off, we have to bring Dashbun. With the leftovers, Wish, Protect, Play Rough, and Body Press. With the well-baked body, of course. We are max HP, 68 EVs into physical defense and 192 into special defense with an impish nature. Special defense investment will always allow us to take 2 Dark Pulses from full, and obviously he can't, the Chi-Yu can't click a fire type move because I'm immune. If it clicks Psychic, then well played. If he's like Life Orb or Specs plus Modest, he will be able to 2-hit KO us, but we'll be able to tell by that damage, and we can, swap accordingly or do whatever we need to do. I don't expect it to be one of those. I really expect it to be Scarfed in this matchup. I think that makes a lot of sense. My team gets chewed up by a Chi-Yu, and honestly, I think Terra Fairy Appleton probably deals with it, well, it does deal with it a little bit better, but I wanted a specific Terra Captain that was not Appleton, obviously that's Blastoise, and this is a Terra Captain too. I just don't feel like I'm going to be terrestrializing this Pokemon, so I didn't want to limit my team by having to Terra the Appleton. I can Body Press to threaten things like Registeel and obviously Chi-Yu and a potential Terra Normal Noivern, and although this isn't the strongest Pokemon, it's just kind of annoying for him to deal with. It just chips things. I can wish around. Next up is Scars, the Skarmory. We're rocking the Rocky helmet, and we are just physically defensive with Roost, Drill Peck, Body Press, and Spikes. Kind of a similar set to Dashbun, except I'm just fully physically defensive, and I deal much better with things like the Great Tusk and the Sneasler and the Rillaboom and the Azumarill. It's very important that this Pokemon stays healthy. Rocky Helmet is really important. He does get knockoff on Rillaboom and Great Tusk. I don't know if Azumarill gets it this gen, but it might. Of course, Body Press is going to help hit the Registeel. But really, I can Drill Peck his first three. His first three Pokemon are weak to flying, so and he doesn't really have the best resistances outside of, I guess, Glimmora and Registeel. My last move is Spikes because he's not going to be wanting to Rapid Spin with Great Tusk on Skarmory, and he can't Mortal Spin with Glimmora because I'm immune. Noivern does get Defog in this generation, but that's fine. At least we can force that if he does bring it. And, you know, he can't really hit us with too much outside of Flamethrower, so if he wants to do that, that's fine. Again, if he's Terra'd already, Normal or Steel, then we can just Body Press it. Make no mistake, Skarmory is incredibly valuable just to switch in and chip things with Rocky Helmet plus whatever move it goes for. Next up, of course, is Gloking, aka Prophet, with the Shucka Berry. We are Chilly Reception, Psychic, Sludge Bomb, and Flamethrower. Max HP, 208 EVs into Physical Defense with a Bold Nature, and 52 EVs into Special Defense. I wanted to have enough investment in Physical Defense to be able to take an Adamant +2 Throat Chop from Sneasler if I'm at full health. So the rest is just into Special Defense so we can take hits a little bit better from a Glimmora or a Vikavolt or a Noivern. Dual Stab is actually really good against this team. It hits like so many things super effectively, and then Flamethrower it's just nice to kind of chip the Registeel. Registeel is going to be really annoying to kind of chip down, so I figured if every single Pokemon can hit it super effectively, it's gonna be tough for him. So obviously the Shucka Berry is nice for Great Tusk. I can stay in against that Pokemon, which is phenomenal because I can Psychic for big damage. Might even be able to OHKO it if he goes for Headlong Rush. And I figured just the more kind of chip Pokemon we can have on the team, the better it'll be for pretty much our last Pokemon, but also kind of our last two. Next up is technically the Girder. Why not bring it? I just got it, but we are just Bulk Up, Drain Punch, High Horsepower, and Defog. Obviously, High Horsepower over Earthquake in case he brings grassy terrain. So we're max attack and special defense with the Adamant nature. Basically just because I want to be able to take as many special attacks as I can, really against Chi-Yu and Glimmora, and maybe Vikavolt. I can't really hit Vikavolt with anything until it Terastallizes. So Bulk Up's really nice, obviously, to boost my attack and defense. You know, I didn't want to have a high HP stat because I could maximize my Drain Punch recovery. If he wants to lead Glimmora, I could just lead this Pokemon, go for a High Horsepower into another one, or a Drain Punch or a Bulk Up, because I can take almost any one hit from anything on this team, and you know, if I'm able to get the Defog off and ensure that hazards are not a problem here, that's going to be really helpful. So the High Horsepower is also kind of nice against the Sneasler. It was really between that and Poison Jab. Azumarill is definitely a big threat. I don't know if it'll be Belly Drum. I would expect more of a defensive set because of Chien-Pao. And then of course we are Guts because I figure there's a few status options on my opponent's team. He can Thunder Wave with Illumise. He can also Thunder Wave with Registeel. He can, obviously I can get Toxic from Glimmora in a myriad of ways. He could have Will-O-Wisp on Chi-Yu, so I guess Thunder Wave or Discharge Para from Vikavolt. So I figured that was a little bit more valuable than an Iron Fist here. Next up is just Choice Band Meet because like I alluded to earlier, Brave Bird plus Close Combat is very, very difficult for my opponent to switch into. I do have Drill Peck as well, just because if I'm in a situation where I don't want to take Recoil, and I can just get some guaranteed damage off with the Drill Peck, that's really helpful. And then U-Turn just for momentum. But yeah, I mean, I'm speed creeping Great Tusk, and the rest is in the HP, obviously max attack. So I'm going to be jolly, but I still hit things very hard. Dual Stab just kind of wrecks his team. So hoping to put in a lot of work with this Pokemon. That's all I got to say. And then finally, the ace in the hole. Terra Poison, White Herb, Shell Smash, Blastoise. Riptide has been a tried and true pivot on this team so far, but this is his opportunity to kind of go crazy, or her opportunity, I guess. I didn't notice it was a female. Surf, Terra Blast, and Aura Sphere, which is pretty much all the coverage I need. Terra Poison is really helpful because I can resist the Grassy Glide on Rillaboom, and I can hit that thing super effectively. I can also hit Azumarill super effectively, otherwise I wouldn't be able to. I can also resist the Dual Stab from Sneasler. I can resist a potential Sludge Wave from Glimmora, and I don't really care about being weak to Great Tusk because after a Shell Smash, I outspeed it anyway, and I can just OHKO it with Surf. This Blastoise is 100% the win con. If we get enough things chipped, it goes crazy. Our hope is just a Terra, and this is why, like I said, this is why I didn't want to bring Terra Fairy Appleton, because I felt like this matchup was just perfect for a potential Blastoise sweep. We are just max special attack with 220 EVs in speed and 36 in physical defense, just to take those priority hits a little bit better. At +2, we always outspeed Choice Scarf Chi-Yu and everything slower. Obviously, Unburdened Sneasler is going to be able to outspeed us, but can it really do much if I'm Terra Poison? I mean, I'm dealing with the same situation in the JJDL. I have Sneasler, and everyone gets free Terra, and they just run Terra Poison or Terra Ghost to beat it. Registeel was like the one reason I considered Terra Electric, just so I couldn't get Thunder Waved. But again, I have a super effective move against Registeel on every single one of my Pokemon, so I feel like by the time Blastoise comes in, if everything goes according to plan, that thing will always be, or already be plenty chipped. I hope you're still with me. If you skip to the battle, that's fine as well. But if you're looking for an explanation as to why we're not bringing Qianpao, I just don't think it's that good against my opponent's team, I'm going to be honest. I feel like everything here has a potential counter to Qianpao. Obviously, Choice Scarf Chi-Yu makes a lot of sense here. Azumarill resisted Stool Stab. Registeel could kind of take hits and body press back. You could see a Scarf Glamora. You could also just see it take a hit and then hit me back with Power Gem. Unburdened Sneasler could be annoying. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to even see Booster Speed Great Tusk. Like, I really think Arika is going to bring like 3, maybe 4 counters to Qianpao because it's gone so crazy so far. I initially had it in front of Girder, but I really feel like I need the defog there, and I feel like honestly Girder provides more value in this matchup. So that's gonna be the team. We're actually having this battle really early in the week on Tuesday, but my opponent has just as much time to prep as I do, so I have no problems with it. Kind of like early battles in the week, but we're gonna give it our all, man. So I'm gonna cut the video right here, and I'll see you guys in the battle. Alright, here we are in the battle, going up against Arika. Obviously this is going to be a post-com, because, you know, I just didn't have the ability to do a lap com. Obviously, that's why I'm doing it. So we can see Arika brings the Illumise, which is obviously derives a reaction out of me. We see Great Tusk, Sneasler, Vikavolt, Noivern, and Azumarill. So he brought all 3 Terra Captains, but the thing is no Chi-Yu and no Glamora. Both of those are Pokemon that I did prep for decently well, so to see neither of them, I mean, it makes sense, I guess, but whatever. We're going to see Good Luck, Have Fun to the Singapore Screamers, and let's get this underway. So I lead Zapdos because if he leads Vikavolt, or, I mean, that's kind of my predicted lead, because I'm expecting him to try to go for Sticky Webs turn 1 if he does lead Vikavolt, which he does indeed. And in a mock, I did actually click Brave Bird turn 1, but I figure it's safer all around to just click U-turn here, because if he does just click Thunderbolt on me, that's, you know, I can't lose this Pokemon that early, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just gonna click U-turn, and we can kind of calc the damage. It does about 30% to him, so he's got some defense investment for sure. And at this point, I could go Girder to try to defog Sticky Webs immediately, but I just go Profit because I feel like that's a little bit of a safer play. If he's just like Specs T-Bolt, he could potentially 2-hit KO Girder, so that wouldn't be ideal. He goes for T-Bolt, which is good. I'm glad I didn't click Brave Bird there and just stay in and wildly sacrifice my Zapdos there. So I just click Psychic because I'm not sure what he's going to do. He could Sticky Web, but he actually goes for Charge Beam here, and he doesn't get the boost. Now, Charge Beam is a 70% chance to raise your special attack. I get a crit too, so that's got to be Assault Vest. If that Psychic is a critical hit on him, he has to be Assault Vest. This is a very cool set, which also means he can't have Sticky Web, which is helpful. But if he got a +1 with the special attack there, he could have actually knocked me out with a Thunderbolt. So I'm actually very fortunate that he didn't get the +1 there, as we're now going to be able to just Chilly Reception out. He doesn't get a boost again, which that one doesn't matter as much because I can just go Zapdos and force it out. Which is in fact what I do. Now, I kind of forgot in the heat of all this that this is a Terra Captain. He could Terra either Electric or Steel and resist my Bird Spam here, but he doesn't do that, thankfully. I definitely would not have knocked him out with a Drill Peck if he went Terra Electric or Steel there, because it would have been resisted. So I just go for Drill Peck because I don't want to take unnecessary, recoil damage. And here I just go Skarmory because I'm expecting either a Flamethrower or a U-turn. He obviously frisks, so he knows I'm Choice Bandit. If he was calcing it, you'd know anyway, but I don't know. I just go Skarmory here, and we're going to see a U-turn come out, which is kind of ideal. That's what I wanted because I wanted to take the Rocky Helmet chip. So we're going to see what he brings out here, which is going to be the Faraday, the Vikavolt yet again. Now, I don't really have the best switch in, but since I know he's not going to go for hazards in this game, I can just go Girder because there's no reason to really keep this Pokemon healthy. I don't want to let Slowking get too chipped because that Shuckleberry could be very helpful against the Girder. I mean against the Great Tusk. So he goes Charge Beam again, and yet again does not get a boost, which is just insane to me. I had to go look up Charge Beam because I'm like, this is a 70% chance, right? And it is, so I don't know. That's just kind of crazy to me. But definitely a really cool set here with a Vikavolt. If he got a little bit more lucky, he could have taken potentially 2.5 mods with him. So great prep on my opponent's part, just not getting the RNG in his favor. So we're gonna get a Drain Punch off, and we're gonna get some health back as they do switch into Great Tusk, which is fine with me. I get a decent amount of health back here, and judging by that damage, he has decent defense investment. Either he's max HP Impish or max HP with defense investment. Either way, I just felt comfortable going for a bulk up here because I didn't think he could knock me out in two hits. And if it's an Earthquake, it's better because it does less damage. But if it's a Headlong Rush, he's also lowering his own defense. So I could potentially 1v1 that with the Drain Punch. Now he goes Sneasler here, which is very surprising. I'm like, okay, let me just click High Horsepower. He goes Dire Claw, and he does unfortunately get the sleep on me, which is very upsetting. I could have just easily knocked this Pokemon out. That damage tells me he's Adamant Banded, so that's very good to know. I could just easily swap into Skarmory. I know that a Sleeping Girder is not very helpful at this point in the match, but if I don't need to sack something, I won't. Like, this is the safest play. If he wants to double predicting Skarmory, that's fine. I just don't think that's a play Arika's gonna make here. I think that they'll probably just click, the Dire Claw again, trying to knock out my Girder. But I do go Skarmory, and we're gonna get some momentum here because he's gonna Dire Claw into nothing. So here I'm just gonna click Drill Peck. There's no actual Brave Bird resistance yet until he gets a Terra, and as you can see there, we do actually disconnect, which is a little bit upsetting. So we have a new background here, and we're in a similar position, except my Slowking's a little weaker. It's actually under half now instead of above half, as you'll see there, because he did get a Charge Beam special attack boost on the first one, so then I just told him to go for another Charge Beam because I would do about the same as a neutral Thunderbolt. And the Girders, it didn't get put to sleep with the Dire Claw. It got poisoned with another one. I just told him just click Dire Claw again, and I'll just click Bulk Up. So you get free damage. He actually did get the poison as well because he's Poison Touch. I'm like, whatever, that's fine. I mean, Girder's so weak. I mean, honestly, I'd rather have a Poison Girder at 10% than a Sleeping Girder at like 45 or 50, whatever it was at. Because we do have a chance to potentially Wish Pass that. So that was kind of the agreement we came to, because I'm not about to recreate this 15 times just to hope for a Dire Claw sleep. So yeah, he goes into Great Tusk on my Drill Peck, which is very interesting. It does take some very meaningful chip there. I'm thinking the only reason you go into this is if you have knockoff. So I do knock off the Rocky Helmet, or I do go into Dash Bond. He was hoping to knock off the Rocky Helmet, sorry. So here I just click Play Rough because, again, no resistances. He's not Terra Steel with anything just yet. So we can get some decent damage on anything. I'm not saying it's the craziest, but hey man, chip is chip. Blastoise endgame is looking delicious right now. But we do miss a Play Rough. So I kind of crash out there a little bit because that's a little bit annoying, obviously. We're going to Protect here because I know he's Choice Banded, so whatever clicks he clicks, he's locked into. So he does go for CC, I guess, hoping that I bring in Skarmory there. And that's fine. I can just click Wish here because Close Combat, it's still doing a lot, man. It could potentially 2 KO me because I'm a little bit chipped from the knockoff. I don't have my Leftovers Recovery anymore. He could also get a Poison Touch. So I just click Play Rough here just to try to get as much damage off as possible. As they do go ahead and switch into Loki, the Illumise. Illumise, I don't know. This is obviously a prankster. It's actually, he told me after the game it's tinted lens, but it could be prankster. Obviously, I don't know that yet. So I'm thinking maybe I sack Girder here. Maybe I just stay in and click Wish, which is what I end up doing. The little Illumise is going to click the Endeavor there, which is really interesting. So it might be like a Sashed Endeavor set, I'm not too sure. Now here, I could very easily switch into Girder to get the Wish Pass. because I don't really need Dash Bun. Dash Bun's mainly here for the Chi-Yu, which didn't even make an appearance. The Illumise is really the one thing stopping Blastoise, because it can go for Prankster, Thunder Wave, it can Encore, it can do some annoying things there. So I figured it's better if I just kind of... I need to be able to take out the Illumise for the Blastoise, because Blastoise right now is looking very good. So I'm going to wish... Again, I knew I probably should have switched into Girder, because there's no move that he's going to do that he's going to click there. He's not going to click Bug Buzz. For all I know, his only damaging move is Endeavor. Thunder Wave made a lot of sense there. He could have also clicked Encore. So going into Girder there would have been a play that makes a lot of sense. I don't know really why I didn't, but again, the main reason was I wanted to keep Dash Bun healthy. But why keep Dash Bun healthy if it's not an essential part of this team? And now I'm just paralyzed, so, you know, I could just get fully paralyzed, which I do. So Dash Bun is now very weak, and I'm thinking, alright, let me just try to wish in case he doesn't have an attacking move. We've seen Thunder Wave and Endeavor. He does have the Bug Buzz. That's going to knock out Dash Bun. That's very upsetting, because I felt like I could have potentially passed a wish into Girder if I got Dash Bun healthy enough to where the Bug Buzz was not threatening. And, you know, at that point I felt like I kind of missed my opportunity anyway, because I could have done it when Dash Bun was at about half health. But anyway, I go into Slowking, and here I'm just looking at his team. I'm thinking, what's the one move that hits everything? And it's like, I mean, if he really wants to go Great Tusk on this, I need to be able to punish that. So we just go for the Thunder Wave, and lo and behold, I do not get fully paralyzed. So I'm able to knock out the Illumise. And at this point, by the way, again, this was not a Prankster. It had Tinted Lens. I guess so that it could actually Thunder Wave, because Prankster doesn't work on Dark types. It could actually Thunder Wave to Chien-Pao. But anyway, since it wasn't Prankster, I still could have done some cool things with Blastoise. So he goes Azumarill. I'm thinking he's got to be belly drumming here and hoping for the para hacks. Click Sludge Bomb. That'll definitely, if it doesn't knock it out, it'll do significant damage. And we can just kind of go from there. And I get fully paralyzed. So he gets a free belly drum. And I mean, there's nothing I can do at that point. Like, I need to be able to kill the Illumise, and I need to risk Thunder Wave on a para on something. I mean, that's just how it goes. Obviously, I didn't in hindsight, because he wasn't Prankster. But how am I supposed to know that? Prankster is such a good ability on that Pokemon. So yeah, I just go Riptide here. The only hope is that I have to hope that he doesn't predict the Terra and click, because if he clicks Aqua Jet here on my Terra, I'm fucked. But I need to be able to Terra so I can actually hit this Azumarill. So I have to Terrastallize and hope he just clicks like Play Rough. Because Aqua Jet, if I'm a Water type, doesn't really do that much. But of course I can't really hit him if I'm a Water type. So I think in his position, I probably would have clicked Aqua Jet, but I mean, it's impossible to tell. So I do click Terra Blast here. He shows that he's pretty bulky with this guy, with this Azumarill. Got some HP and special defense investment, because that Terra Blast did about 65%. So here I have to sack something, right? I'm gonna go ahead and sack Girder, because at least Blastoise has the threatening ability to do something. At this point, Girder does not. It's slower than everything. It can just get, taken out. Maybe if I get the opponent to switch out as I click Shell Smash, that's something. So that's why I felt like sacking Girder made more sense there. Here I go Scars. Now this will always knock this Pokemon out at this range with the Rocky Helmet. And I'm really banking on him clicking Aqua Jet here. Skarmory does naturally outspeed Azumarill. So I'm hoping he doesn't click like a Liquidation, because if that was the case, I could have roosted, got up to full health. I would have lived the Liquidation on Sturdy, but then I would have obviously been at 1 health. So he clicks Aqua Jet, dies to the Rocky Helmet, and I'm able to get back up to full health, which was very important. So now my Skarmory has its Sturdy intact. If I really need to stay in against the Vikavolt, I can. I do also outspeed that Pokemon as well. So he does go Faraday, which is the Vikavolt. Now here, I don't think Drill Peck knocks him out, certainly. So I'm just going to sack off Blastoise, because I need to get Gyarados in to have a chance at this. It's 3-3. It's about to be 2-3. Or no, it's about to be 2-4, because he still has Great Tusk. he's going to go ahead and Terra, which is good to know so that I don't have to worry about any of those shenanigans. Now, if he clicked Agility, that would be crazy, but we already knew pretty much he was Assault Vest, so going to go with that big Terastallization, going to knock out the Blastoise. Terra kills Terra. Yeah, I mean, Blastoise had a great matchup, but it's just unlucky that yeah. I mean, there's no other way to describe that as unlucky, other than unlucky, I guess. So, yeah, we'll go into Gyaptos here. U-turn should not knock this Pokemon out. I was really debating what move to click here, because I could click Brave Bird in case he switches, but, I mean, Close Combat pretty much does a lot of damage to everything. He could go Sneasler on this. That's just a little bit ballsy for him. He knows I'm banded, so I feel like I had to click Close Combat. I would assume he switches, and I wanted to click U-turn on that, but it wasn't really worth it. In fact, he just goes Karna, and this is going to knock out the what is it, the Great Tusk anyway. So I didn't really. I'm kind of glad I didn't U-turn because I didn't really need to. I knock out the Great Tusk, and at this point it's 2-3. I do have the Pokemon to beat his team, but it's just a matter of getting them in the position. I don't have any like sacks at this point, and I have to play this pretty flawlessly, almost flawlessly. So I see Sneasler, and I'm like, all right, let me just go into Skarmory, because that's the play I have to make, right? And I figure that's just way too obvious. My opponent's already made a prediction on the dash button. They predicted the Skarmory once as I clicked Protect and he clicked Close Combat. So I'm like, I think he's going to do it again. I think he's going to U-turn or Close Combat, either one. I'm hoping to see a U-turn because Close Combat, I have to click it because I'm banded. That's not going to knock out this Sneasler. I'm hoping to see U-turn here. And I get that call right. U-turn still does a lot. For being quad resist, I am at -1 defense, but no Poison Touch also, which is huge. So he's got to sack something here. It's got to be Noivern. I mean, you need the Vikavolt to kill the Skarmory. So he's going to go Vlad. Well, I guess not if you have Flamethrower on this, but anyway, it does just he didn't have, by the way, spoilers, he didn't have Flamethrower on this. I saw the sets. He was actually Terra Steel Scarfed for the Shanpao, so it makes a lot of sense. Vlad is going to go down, and at this point, yeah, got to bring in Sneasler again because Vikavolt doesn't outspeed, so Sneasler's going to come out. I'm thinking at this point I'm just going to switch into Skarmory. Like, it gives me the, like, even if he does switch into, what do you call it, the Vikavolt, Body Press does a decent chunk since he's no longer a bug type, so I think this is still the play. As he does click U-turn again, so, I could have, I really could have just, stayed in again, but I don't think that was necessary, so. Although, if he clicks Dire Claw there on the Gyaptos, Skarmory just might pick up the last 2 kills. Because I could just roost. Well, I'd still be in sturdy, so yeah, that's probably what happens there. I'm going to Body Press, and Faraday is going to not drop to that. I figured it wouldn't, so yeah, I think, I don't know, because he could have still gone for CC. Anyway, I'm not sure how that works out, but it's going to knock me out, obviously, with the Thunderbolt. We're going to go ahead and go into Gyaptos. At this point, it is in Drill Peck range. I'm going to click Drill Peck over BB because I don't want to take any recoil. I might need all the health I can get. Drill Peck will obviously always knock out Sneasler, so we're going to knock this Pokemon out, and now it just basically comes down to if Sneasler can get a high roll with, or not a high roll, like a max roll with Dire Claw, or a Gunk Shot connect. If he has Gunk Shot and he clicks it and it connects, that will always knock me out. Also, Dire Claw can get a sleep or a paralysis. I think it's like a 30% chance, so did get the sleep with the Girder in the first rendition of this game. We're going to go ahead and click Drill Peck and hope for the best. That's all we can do. We see the Dire Claw, no Gunk Shot. Brings us down to 41 HP, and we do not get status there, and we knock out the Sneasler. That was an incredible game. I would say the most exhilarating, well, yeah, the most exhilarating game of the season for me. That's as close as you're going to get it. I mean, let's be honest. GG's to Arika and the Singapore Screamers. We're going to improve to 6-0. Yeah, it was just, the hacks didn't help, and I felt like that just made it all the more sweet at the end to get the plays right and to play my cards to where I could win with Gapdos. Gapdos picking up 3 kills there. Again, Blastoise had a phenomenal matchup. It just didn't matter, you know. So anyway, that's going to be the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next one.